What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo. Welcome to the Lit Outlet Podcast. I have a very special guest here in the building, the homie Mike.
What up, though?
Hell yeah! So welcome to the podcast. Mike's usually the guy behind the camera, behind the audio.
Yeah.
Starting off this year, I wanted him to be my first guest as far as being in front of the camera, just because I think he's doing a lot of dope shit that no one knows about. He has a particular set of skills that, you know, it's not very popular, but it's very important when it comes to making music or movies or just any type of entertainment.
Facts.
So Mike, before we get into like what you do, why don't you let the people know where you're from and, you know, where you came up?
I'm originally from Southgate and Downey. I was born in Montebello. Date, I can't say the date, but
CIA agent.
But yeah, I grew up in Southgate from like a baby to like probably like 5 years old. Then after that, I moved to Downey with my pops, and I went to middle school out there. No, to elementary, to like 4th and 5th grade. After that, I just got into some shit, and then my mom and then like telling me like, oh, I gotta move with her. It was just hectic, bro.
So Southgate, Downey, then where else?
And then East LA.
East LA.
Yeah, and then Gardena.
What are some of the major differences that because I'm from Southgate. All I know, born in East LA, but raised in Southgate. What are some of the biggest differences between Southgate and some of those cities you grew up in?
The difference between Southgate and the other cities, it was like more like a Hispanic suburbs. Then I moved to Downey. It was the same thing, but when I moved to East LA, it was a whole different thing. It was more like ghetto and more gangs.
All right, so then East LA was the last spot you lived in, right? And like when you were young?
Yeah, and then I moved to Gardena.
Okay, and then after Gardena, you went to where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Wilson High School in East LA, and then I moved to Gardena, and then I went to Gardena High School.
You played any sports?
Yeah, I played football at Wilson. I played running back, and then when I moved to Gardena, I played defensive tackle. You know,
in my schools, whether it's elementary, middle school, or high school, there's always like this one little fast Mexican, like the fastest kid in the school, the little short foot is always fast. I always wondered like how come there's never like a little Mexican guy in the NFL or something like that. But you were like fast, or you were stocky back then?
I was actually fast. I was not stocky until I moved to Gardena.
Put on some weight and shit?
Yeah, when I was at Wilson, I was 165 to like 170. And then when I went to Gardena, I went up to like 185, then to 195.
And then you played all 4 years football?
No, I only played from my junior year to my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else did you do in high school? What other things were you getting in trouble and shit?
When I was in 9th grade, from 9th grade to the first semester of 10th grade, I was getting into a lot of trouble, ditching and being late to class. I was literally a straight F student.
Okay. And was it like in high school when you got into the music shit, or like that was after high school?
I was actually into the music when I was, I'm not gonna lie, when I was in elementary, bro, when I was like in like 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you listening to back then?
At that time, it was all EDM music, like shuffling, and then a little bit of like hip hop, like old school rap, like Biggie, Tupac. You know, I wasn't really hip to like a lot of other artists. It was just mainly Tupac and Biggie. Oh, and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg as well.
Yeah.
And then when I got to middle school, I started listening to more hip hop, and then I expanded my like the genres that I wanted to listen to. I listened to Spanish music, hip hop, jazz, classical music, a little bit of country.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, like in elementary or middle school, you know, we didn't have Apple Music or Spotify, so whatever was on the radio was kind of what everyone was forced to listen to.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people grew up on Snoop, Dre.
Do you remember the days when you had to the CD player with the headphones?
And if you moved,
I used to burn disc and like play all the songs that I liked and put it in the CD player in the disc.
I remember when there was a Walkman that no matter how you turned it, it wouldn't skip. But some Walkmans you have to hold it flat because if you move it, it will skip. Like if you have a Chafa one from like the swap meet or something, I used to have one of those.
I don't know.
And my neighbor got like a Sony Walkman. It was red. I remember it was red, and like you could throw it in the air and that shit wouldn't skip. Yeah, that was back in the day, LimeWire days, burn CDs and shit. I used to burn CDs.
I remember when I was using LimeWire a couple times too, and then a month later, shit was just done.
That shit fucked up my computer like 3 or 4 times, and my dad would get mad as fuck because my cousin would have to come, delete that shit, reboot it or whatever, just because I wanted to download music. And it was crazy because I would like either download a music or download music or a movie, like leave it recording in the morning, come back from school, and then it would be done. But how did you get your start in music? What did you do first?
I went in 2016. I went to LA Film School for 3 years. I was supposed to go like straight after high school, but due to my funds and financial advising, I just didn't have the right money around me or the right people to guide me and give me the financial advice that I needed. So I like took a literally like a year off. And then so once that year was done, I decided to apply LA Film. Got this ad on my phone while I was on Instagram scrolling, looked into it, applied, and then I got a tour. And then I, from there on, like I just took that shit more serious. But I already had it, like I was born into the music, but once I went, like before I went to college, I was like on YouTube and trying to watch videos and how to learn how to record on Pro Tools, and it was all a puzzle at the time. It was really, really hard for me. And, I didn't really have enough money to go book studios. At the time, it was just expensive for me. And then I had a kid too, like around the time that I started getting a little more serious and I was going to college. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my kid when I was 20, and I feel like having a kid at a young age, it really kind of makes people do 2 things. Either you grow up and get a job and try to provide for the baby.
Yeah.
Or, you're a deadbeat and you just ignore the baby and you keep doing what you got to do. But you had a baby and started focusing on the baby, or went to work or started school. What'd you do when you had your son?
Yeah, when I had my son, literally, like, I started working at the 99-cent store, bro. This was in 2015.
And I know that.
And yeah, I fucking hated this shit, bro, because they were making me work overnight. That I couldn't work no day shift. So I'd clock in at 11 p.m. and be out by 10 a.m., bro.
Damn.
It was so fucked up. But, I had to make sacrifices. And then I decided to work at, actually before that, I was working at TJ Maxx for a month. I just said, fuck this shit. Like, I didn't like it after all. And then I went to the 99. After the 99, I worked at some like swap meet as like a little security right there in Gardena at the rodeo swap meet.
Sick. So you had a couple of jobs, then you decided to go to school. How was the whole school process and the experience?
It was cool. At first, it was a hassle because, I had to do a lot of paperwork and contracts. And, my mom was helping me at the time. But, like, at the start, it was all about, like, the music history and the music theory. And then, like, 3 months into the program, I started getting more hands-on with the engineering. They taught me, they actually gave me Pro Tools. They gave me a computer, a microphone, an interface, headphones, a piano, Pro Tools Logic. It was dope, bro. But then I got into it, like really hands-on. I was going like to these classes, and I was staying after class with the professors, asking them questions, how to get better, and how to learn these tricks, and just be more efficient.
And then, like, as far as your professors, like, were there people who just knew how to use the machines, or were there actually people with experience and that work with artists before, like people who were actually legit in the industry?
Yeah, 2 of them were actually successful. One of them worked with Top Dog Entertainment, the record label that Kendrick Lamar signed to, and I think Schoolboy Q might be signed to them still, or I'm not sure. Yeah. And then one of my other professors, he recorded J-Lo, Beyonce, and Shakira.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was like an engineer?
Yeah, recording engineer.
Dope.
I think he mixed a couple of songs, too.
And then, like, that school is not only about music, right? They show you about, like...
Yeah, it's film production, audio engineering, and production as far as, like, producing.
Yeah.
Making beats.
And that's why my podcast, since day one, has always sounded super crispy as far as the audio, because if you look at other people that are like, on my level as far as podcasting, the audio is trash. But my audio since day one has been super crispy, thanks to my boy right here who's a fucking trained professional. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
As far as being like, what's your official title? Like, you're an engineer, audio engineer?
I'm strictly a mix engineer. I know how to record, mix, and master, but just strictly mixing and mastering, bro. I'm at a point in my career where I just don't feel comfortable recording, as I don't feel comfortable recording as much as I used to before. But I actually, like, if I fuck with you on some music shit or on some like bro shit, like, and you do music and you got a good vibe, like I'm down to record you. Feel me? If we built an organic relationship and it's a good vibe and I fuck with it, I'll record you. But other than that, bro, I just want to be the one to like mix and master the masterpiece.
Yeah, before I met you, I had no idea what the differences were, and you put me up on game as far as recording music, doing the podcast. So let me see if I got this right as far as the different types of engineers, right? So you got your recording engineer, the guy that records you while you're in the booth, right? That saves it either on Pro Tools, Logic, or whatever. Yeah. You got your mixing engineer, which is the person who fixes your vocals, maybe a little bit of auto-tune, maybe a little bit of echo or reverb.
Makes the song radio ready.
Makes it kind of like sound like saucy, right? It has a sauce. And then the final is the mastering.
Yeah, it amplifies the song.
It's just making it loud enough.
Yeah,
it makes it
without sounding distorted. Yeah.
Yeah, making it sound clean. So there's 3 levels to the engineering.
Yeah.
And out of those 3, which was your favorite?
Mixing and mastering. Well, mixing, I'm at a point too where I don't really like mastering now. I'd rather kind of just send it to a master engineer that's mastered that.
Yeah.
Now,
as far as people who are interested in becoming a mixing engineer,
yeah.
What are some of your favorite like plugins? What are plugins? Are they important? How do you use plugins?
So plugins, the best way I could describe plugins is, for example, you have regular chicken without seasoning, and then you have chicken with seasoning. You feel me? Or you have pasta without sauce, and you have pasta with sauce. So you feel me? If you add the sauce to the pasta, it's gonna make it taste better.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So like the little things that people might not even notice.
Yeah, it's like magic. That's the best thing I could tell you. It's just like plain, and then it's just like you randomly do magic to it, and it just comes alive.
And then nowadays, as far as compared to like maybe back in the 90s when everything was on that big, board?
The SSL board.
Yeah, that big Dr. Dre board.
Yeah, the SSL
Nowadays,
board.
Everything's kind of on the computer, right? Do you prefer being like a digital mixing, or do you like the old school shit?
I like both, but nowadays, the professionals, they've created a way to somehow get that same vintage analog sound on the computers, aka the box. That way you don't have to go to an actual recording studio. If you have a good spot where it's not, like a good setup, and the walls are insulated right, and there's not a lot of air or whatever around. Yeah. You got the room padded right. You get down here and record in your own house. You feel me? You just got to have the right tools. But some of these big engineers, they've made a platform where we can download plugins, and some of these plugins, like I said, they're like vintage analog plugins that give you that vintage analog sound that a SSL mixing board would give you on a digital platform.
Now, you did mention that, because of the advances in technology, a lot of people can and maybe record in their house. Do you feel like if you got the right equipment, do you think booking a studio is like not worth the money, or booking like a badass studio is worth the money? Or do you rather record like at your house?
Honestly, I'd rather do both. Sometimes to save me some money, sometimes you could set the vibe at the spot. My bro right here, Malik, we got a studio in downtown, and it's a vibe. It's not a big ass recording mixing studio, but it's good for what it is. We've set it up, as a nice little home studio. We locked in the sound already. We could get that same sound that we would get in an actual recording studio. But as far as mixing, honestly, like if you have a good studio to mix at, that's perfect. Other than that, I like to mix my records in like big studios where there's an actual SSL board, just so I could get more RAM and DSP, and I could do bigger mixes.
I understand. I know just because, you're the homie and everything, and I know, we talked about it, but like, name some of the people you've worked with, some of our favorite artists, some of your favorite artists. Because sometimes we'll be chilling, me and Mike will be chilling.
Yeah.
And then this fool will start playing some music, right? And he'll be vibing, and then, it's a banger.
I got a big pun in a book bag.
It's a straight banger, and I'm like, damn, what song is that? Let me put it up on the TV or the speaker. And he's this classic line like, oh, it's not out yet. I just got it on my phone. I'm like, damn, dog. It always has bangers from crazy, crazy artists.
All she wanna do. That's a new song. It's on the way. Rich LaFleur.
So what are some of the artists that some people might know that you've been working with?
Mozzie, A Boogie with the Hoodie, Phoenix, Flexin, and OGZ back when they were Shoreline Mafia. Conrad, bro, did Vintage and Adventurous. Kaylin For Real, RJ, Almighty J, Fabio Foreign, Lil TJ, they're both from New York. Kaylin White is an R&B artist from the Bay Area. Draco the Ruler, Ralphie the Plug, Hitta J3, Big Sad from West LA. My bros, Ali LaFleur, Reem Riches, Goldman Stacks, Joey Melrose, my homie from Atlanta, Cartel Baby, female artist from East LA, DJ from Blue Bucks Clan, Icewear Vezo from Detroit, Rio the Young OG, PZ and Lou Graham. There's more people I just can't remember off the top.
He came with the list prepared, huh? You knew I was gonna ask you that. But but you've also worked a lot with underground, people who are not obviously on the map, like me, myself, right? Me, that I'm barely starting to get back into it. You have homies and shit like that.
Yeah.
What are some of the differences working with a super underground artist like me or someone who has 15 Spotify listeners to someone who's like super famous, like some of the artists you just named?
Well, the difference between a independent artist is they are their own boss. They have their own money. Everything comes out of their pocket. They can make the move whenever they want. They can put music out whenever they want. A record label artist is more, a little more strict. You have certain restrictions. You can't drop music whenever you want. As far as the underground artists with pay, some of these guys, they pay right away. They pay you at the end of the week or, in 2 weeks. And they pay with percentages as well. You feel me? If you work out a deal with them. With the labels, it takes about, sometimes it takes a week or two, max 30 days to 5 to 6 months, bro, for a fucking check.
Damn. That's crazy. So like underground artists will pay you upfront pretty much most of the time, make it easier to get paid.
Exactly.
And then when you work with a label, you got to do the work first, and then
I got to
invoice them.
Exactly. I got to invoice them, talk to the manager, reach out to this person. It all depends who you know, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you've already worked with a lot of people. Is there some people that are an artist or somebody that you haven't worked with yet that you want to work with yet? Like somebody that you like to record with? It could be Spanish, English. I know you fuck with Spanish, too.
Damn. I can't. Off the dome, I can't even think about that shit. It's probably a few. I want to work with Mozzie again. And with A Boogie for sure. That's about it, yeah, bro, honestly.
And then another question I want to ask you was like, all right, say somebody is either in school, hasn't gone to school yet, they want to go down the road that you went, right? And they're starting to book sessions. What are some of the do's and don'ts? What are some of the things they should look out for? How should they book their sessions? Should they have the room prepared? Like,
are you talking about engineering, engineer or artist?
Like recording engineer. So an underground artist hits you up like, hey, can you record me?
Yeah.
But it's the engineer's first time. What should they watch out for?
You gotta be 15 minutes early to the session. You gotta set the vibe. You gotta set the studio up. Make sure the mic's working properly. Make sure you're getting signal on Pro Tools. Make sure the computer's working right or the mixing board's working right. Make sure the signal flow is on point, first and foremost. So set the vibe. Be early, set the vibe. Always offer them something to drink when they pull up and show them where the restroom is at.
And then like, So I think that's really important. Like the engineer or the artist should just be able to walk in and start recording whenever they're ready, right?
Yeah.
The engineer, they're the ones responsible for the mics, the rooms, and everything, the setup.
Yeah.
Now, as far as having beats, how does that usually go? Who picks the beats?
Most of the time, the artist normally comes with beats already prepared, or half of the time they'll go on YouTube.
Is that annoying when someone's not prepared?
Sometimes, yeah.
I laugh because I've done that to him all the time. And he says, oh, come with beats. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, I'll come with some beats. And then we're on YouTube for like 30 minutes looking for a beat. How do you feel about YouTube beats?
Some of these YouTube beats are hard. You feel me? It's just nowadays, they have a lot of producer tags in them, or purchase your tracks today, or purchase your beats, blah blah blah. But some of these YouTube beats are hard. These guys, they have a lot of talent. You know, the only thing I hate is sometimes when you reach out to them, they take forever to respond. That's the only bad thing that I hate. You know, for the ones that don't have a BeatStars account, you know, BeatStars account is where you upload your beats so people could listen to them and buy them.
That's a bar right there. I didn't find out about BeatStars till you told me about it. It's basically an app or a website, and you go in there, and then it's just a library of beats that you can lease from like $5 to $500, depending what your budget is. BeatStars is a huge, huge help. We definitely got a lot of beats from BeatStars.
Yeah.
Now, you're in the studio, you're vibing, you're recording the artist. Let's say it's the first time, and for some reason, you know, sometimes as an artist, like they're recording and they're moving their head, and every time they move their head, the voice comes in and out. What's like the correct way to correct the artist from telling them to keep like, you know, recording into the microphone?
You know, you just gotta politely ask them if they could please, like, you know, redo the take or just speak directly into the mic to capture the correct recording take.
While you're recording, are you mixing at the same time?
Yeah.
You mix as you go?
Yes.
Okay. How important is having like a template, and what's a template?
A template is basically like, it's like with all your plugins and the routing, it's like a session set up to record or to mix. They all have different plugins. That's basically what a template is.
Yeah, you also taught me about templates. To me, like when I think about a template, it's like having an outline of a drawing.
Yeah,
and it's already ready, and you just gotta put the color in.
Exactly, bro.
And the color is the artist's voice.
Exactly.
Dope. What is the programs that you use? Like what?
Strictly Pro Tools. Avid Pro Tools. Yeah.
Is there a reason why you like that one over the others?
Yeah. It's industry standard, and honestly, I think it's the best digital audio workspace to mix and master and also record songs on.
Okay.
It's just everybody in the music business has Pro Tools. Most of the people have Pro Tools or Logic Pro X or Ableton, but I fuck with Pro Tools. You know, I've already mastered it.
And then these programs and the mics or whatever to get started, it's not cheap, right? It's not cheap to get started. That's a lot of people run into that obstacle where like they don't got the money, right? At one point we all started. Maybe I don't know how you started, but if someone's starting and their thing is, oh, I want to start making music, recording, but I don't got the money, what do you recommend?
Get a job, invest in yourself.
Bars. Bars. I think a lot of people be like, you know what? I don't want to get a job or go to school because it's going to distract me from my goal. Yeah. But I think it's really smart to do what you did, which is get a job and start buying first the mic. Then you get your computer, and little by little you start stacking.
You could have a job too, you feel me? And just not know how to manage your money, or, you know, it's just not going right for you. But I feel like as a individual in the music business and being around a lot of like-minded individuals, you know, I feel like when you invest in yourself, you just like, you open more doors. But, you know, obviously you're going to have to make sacrifices and take a couple, you know, losses or learn, you feel me, from those losses, you feel me? And then at the end of the day, the more you invest in yourself, you just get better and better, and then the W's gonna come.
What brand is that on your hat?
It's Caddy Plug, Extinct Teams collab with Draco's brand.
Some exclusive RP Draco.
Yeah, long live Draco.
I think you named him on your list, right? You worked with him before?
Yeah.
Damn. You got any like crazy studio stories about working with Draco? Anything that's interesting?
Not with Draco, but with another artist. Actually, I was in a session one time in West LA, and he he wasn't an engineer. He was like the more like a middleman, but he owned the studio. But he did some weird shit, and the homies got fed up with him, and he got pistol whipped, and they were beating him up. And the homies that were beating him up, they're cool with me, but like when I seen all this shit going on, I'm like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. I ran to the restroom. I was like chilling in there. I have PTSD, so I had to calm myself down. And so yeah, I'm posted in the restroom, and like I hear like the homies fucking this guy up, and then he runs out of the building of his own studio, and I was like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. Like shit's too fucking active. I fucking called an Uber, dipped the fuck out of there, bro. And then the homies, they call me like, yo, Mike, like, where you at? Why you dip, cuz? I was like, shit, it's too hectic, bro. You guys were turning up. And they're like, yo, let's record, bro. We got the studio. I was like, yo, I'm going home. Yeah, they fucked him up bad, though. Like,
We got the studio because we kicked his ass out. Literally. That's crazy. Craziest experience. And then as far as like recording hours, are you guys usually recording like 9 to 5 or is it usually like nighttime?
It depends. I like doing sessions in the daytime now, honestly. Like, I'm getting old as fuck, so I can't even be staying up too late no more. When I started the engineering, like I was staying up like super late, bro. I'd wake up in the daytime like around like 11, 12 in the daytime, and then just go on, bro, until 5 a.m. the next morning, and go home and do it all over again. But that shit started catching up to me, and it fucked me up, bro, mentally. Like, I started going kind of crazy a little bit. It was a bad time.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Definitely had our long recording sessions before.
Yeah, you got to get your rest, bro. You got to take care of your mental health.
Facts.
Yeah.
I just have to ask again, like, I need to know like the craziest story, and you got to give me some details as far as like working with people, or who has the best work ethic, who's the best freestyle rapper. Like, you got to give me something.
Best work ethic that I've seen in the studio with artists, Mozzie, A Boogie, Draco, Rafi. Yeah, these guys, they're like quick with it, bro. And my bro too, Ali the Flair and Reem Riches, they just punch in, bro. It's like combo after combo, bro. It's just they like write everything in their head, and when they like spit it, it just sounds perfect. If they don't fuck with the take, we go back, we punch in again. It's a puzzle, but it's a quick puzzle. You feel me? Instead of taking 8 hours to 16 hours on one fucking song, bro. 2 hours on one fucking song.
That's crazy.
We should be knocking down at least like 2-3 songs in 2 hours, bro.
Out of the songs that you've worked on that are out, which is probably the one that's like been the hit that hit the streets the hardest, or like the most famous song?
Vintage and Adventurous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out, I think, in 2019.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was one of my worst mixes ever.
Isn't it crazy? The one that like your worst mix became the song that everyone
popped off. It was a rough mix and they uploaded it. It's crazy that. Yeah, when I did that, my boy Ren Paul, shout out RP, he invited me over to his studio in Commerce, and we were already working on some shit. And then Conrad pulled up, and he had the song. I think he had like the hook laid down already. And then I started recording his verses, and I was like half asleep recording this shit, bro. It was like 2-3 in the morning. I was like half asleep. Then I knocked out, and I kind of like dozed off and ignored him. And he came out, and he was like tripping on me. He's like, "What's up, cuz? Motherfucker acting stupid and shit, falling asleep. What's up, cuz a weirdo." And then Rimpa was just like laughing, and then I guess I like got a little mad about this shit because he was like talking shit, and I just stepped out of the studio, bro. And I went to the lobby and I fell asleep, and then Rimpa came back, and he actually stepped out. Conrad came out too, and Conrad was like, "Look at this nigga, he's asleep and shit. We supposed to be recording." And so I ended up going back inside to the studio. We like recorded it, finished recording it, and then I actually slept at the studio that night. The next morning, I did like a little rough mix. I thought it was, I thought it was hard. You feel me? I was in college. I was going through shit, and I was still learning. You feel me? But my new quality now, different level, bro. Different ball game.
But it's a trip because that song, Vintage and Adventures, they were playing that shit at the Laker game, on the radio. Like, that song was everywhere. In the club, right? We used to go to the club and hear that shit.
That shit still goes up in the club. The strip clubs, too.
That shit was tight, though. We would, like, chill in the section, get a bottle, and then your song comes on. And we're like, fuck.
Yeah.
That was a vibe. Is that the first time that ever happened? You're in the club and you hear one of those songs you worked on?
First time, bro. Yeah, I remember me and you were at the club. It was in Downey. It was actually at Joseph's. I think it was at Joseph's, right?
Yep.
And we were drunk, and we were, we had the teens in front of us dancing or whatever, and I heard this shit. We were like dancing. I didn't realize it. Then I realized it, and then I looked at you, and you looked at me, and we just smiled because like we already knew. You feel me? But like it was a surprise to hear that shit at the club and like people actually vibing to it.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Yeah.
That shit was tight. Let me see. And then you said, so the hat you're wearing is Cali Plug, right?
Yeah.
And Cali Plug is?
Cali Plug is a cannabis brand. Cali Plug is a clothing brand. It's a lifestyle. He's an underground cannabis brand. Fucking up the streets with a lot of good exotics, bro.
Okay.
Good prices.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You guys releasing anything special?
Oh yeah, bro. Got some music too, bro. He's about to release some shit. He started rapping. He said he wants to drop some shit in January. So I've been just in album mode. You feel me? Working with him, working with Goldman Sachs, Rich LaFleur, other artists. That are from like LA. But yeah, I can't wait till all this new music drops, bro, just so a lot of people can hear my work. Because I've been doubted a lot, in this music business, and just a lot of weirdo motherfuckers. You feel me? Ain't no friends in the industry, bro.
Facts. I want to get into that a little bit more, but first, shout out to Cali Plug.
Shout out Cali Plug.
My bad for getting stupid shit faced at your party. Got super drunk.
Yeah, bro was super lit.
I showed up. This fool invited me to like the game. The game was performing at the Cali Plug warehouse.
Kenneth for real pulled up that night too.
And there were strippers and shit. And then this fool pulls up with like 2 Henny bottles, no chasers. And I already came drunk from happy hour, endless margaritas in Beverly Hills. So I got turned out. And I was just acting a fool, but so my apologies. That shit, I had a good time. Shout out to Cali Plug. He's a cool motherfucker. He gave me a shitload of clothes one time when I went to go record in the studio with him.
Yeah.
That shit was dope. All right, now as far as being in the industry, obviously, like especially with rap and hip hop, most artists or people in the industry, as far as the artists, are black, right? And then the engineers, I've noticed that a lot of them are white. You don't really see a lot of Mexicans, unless you work like at a Power 106 or 92.3, I feel like there's a lot of Mexicans. But how is it being a minority of a minority in the music industry? And do you feel like people treat you different because you're Mexican?
Yeah, I feel like now. Well, I feel a lot of. I just feel like we get devalued. You feel me? Like motherfuckers, like
they doubt you guys.
Yeah, they doubt us basically. You feel me?
Why is it though? Because why? They think you don't got it?
Most likely. I don't know. It's just a lot of hater bullshit. You feel me?
I feel like you're gonna be one of the first engineers, people in the industry that's Mexican. Yeah. That really puts down, because you got mad skills. Everyone that fucks with you notices that your skill set.
It's plaque season, bro.
Hell yeah. You're going to be like one of the first Mexican engineers with a Grammy, you feel me, out of LA.
Shit, I can't wait.
There's going to be kids growing up wanting to be like you. And I feel like, once that day's going to come either this year or anytime soon, even in a couple months maybe. But like, what are some of the things you have to, do you recommend or any tips and tricks for any other Mexicans in the industry? How do they handle themselves with everybody else? Let
the work speak for itself, bro. Just keep going, keep grinding. You got to put that work in. You got to make a lot of sacrifices, you feel me? You're going to have to miss a lot of family parties, you feel me? You're going to have to call off of work sometimes, you feel me? You're going to lose some money sometimes, you feel me? You're going to take a couple L's, you feel me? But just keep going, bro. So I've been going for a couple of years, bro, honestly. Like, I've been I've been going at it, bro, since I was like 10, 11 years old. And to get to where I am now, bro, it took me 7 years.
That's crazy.
Feel me? And I still have doubts to this day. Like, sometimes me doubting myself and overthinking shit, like, it kind of fucks with my head. It's like my mind plays these tricks with me sometimes. But like I said, like, you really got to watch who you surround yourself with, bro. Like, you got to have positive, like minds around you that, you know, want to see you do good and you want to see them do good and elevate. You feel me? You got to have a team behind you. You feel me? You gotta think as a team. You gotta be on the same page to make shit happen. You feel me? If you don't got a team or the right people around you, bro, you're just gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Now, I want to get into something a little more spicy.
Yeah.
You feel me? Thank you for watching the Lit Outlet podcast with my very special guest,
Money One.
We're switching now the rest of this episode to our Patreon, where we ask a little bit more in-depth questions that are a little bit too crazy for YouTube. You feel me? Some crazy shit from the industry, maybe just some personal preferences from our guest. So thank you for watching. Leave a comment, share this shit. As far as the YouTube podcast is done, we're moving this over to Patreon. Kicking it, we've been homies since like what, 2016, 2017?
Yeah, like 2017.
Why don't you tell a story about how we met and how we started kicking it?
We actually met in at DB Lounge at the nightclub that I'd be working at. There's 2 rooms. It's a hip hop room and a Latin room. So one night I was wearing a OVO hat with the owl on it, and bro's he's a Drake supporter, and he one night he just came in all turned up, and then like he see me wearing the hat and he threw up the OVO sign. I threw it back, and we just locked in from there. A year had went by, and he came back. Then he asked me for my Instagram, and we were just networking. He was like explaining to me how he wanted to start promoting and have this gig on Thursday nights at some nightclub in Long Beach. And he was like, "Yo, like I need a DJ. I'm trying to start this gig on Thursdays. Let's run it up." So I was like, "Bet." And it was literally only him and I, like. It's us 2 running this shit together. And when the day came, I came through.
Hell yeah. So I used to always go to this fucking club, DB Lounge in Downey. Shout out to all the bitches I met there in Downey through like 2015 and 2019. But I used to always go back and forth between this English and Spanish. And I used to always see this guy behind the DJ booth in the Spanish side. And one time he was wearing, was it a hat or a shirt?
It was an OVO hat.
A hat. And then, I got the OVO tatted on me. I'm a big Drake fan. So I threw up the OVO, handshake, and ever since then, we kind of kept it cool. I would request songs, and he'd play it. He'll see me walk in from the other side, start playing Drake, which you're not supposed to play English on the Spanish side, but he'll do it, so I thought that was dope. And I'm just that type of guy where, like, if I see somebody doing something and I think is dope, I'll be like, you know what? I could do that. I could do that, and I could do it better. So I had this idea of going to all these spots, asking them what's your slowest night. Let me host it, and then we'll make some money, right? So we ended up finding a place in Long Beach called Roxanne. Shout out to Roxanne. Shout out to the owner. So I hit my boy up. I'm like, hey, you DJ, bring your shit, and then I'll take care of the rest. And I found a graphic designer for the flyers. I talked to the bartenders, had special drinks, had somebody at the door, and we just started having these events. And then we'll go to different locations and stuff like that. But what really we did that for a minute and then stopped, right? But what was really fucking dope was anything that I asked for him or like had asked him to help me with the DJ situation, like he'll just take care of it. Like I'm really good at putting people in situations where they can like succeed if they want to, if they're hard workers. And this guy was like the hardest working person I ever worked with as far as like putting shit together. He had the same drive that I did. And that's how we ended up linking up. And after that, we started doing music.
Yeah. It was just an organic relationship that was built, you feel me, off of loyalty and, you feel me, just being serious with this music shit. Like, it just went a long way.
And then we took anything when it comes down to business, like, he takes it very serious. Like, he's the one, he was like my right-hand man when I was doing the record label Super Heavy, right? He would bring me the artists, he'll record them, he'll mix and master, he'll give me all the information that he was learning on the side while he was doing that full-time. And I had my label part-time. And he was really the guy behind the scenes, and I was the guy like promoting the Lit Outlet Records, the Lit Outlet podcast
at the same time too.
You know what I'm saying? And then so it was super dope, and that's how we became homies and shit. How is it like working at the nightclub?
It shit's dope, bro. It's really cool. You feel me? I actually I've been working there since 2015, bro, but I like it because I don't know, for some reason, I feed off of seeing the crowd dancing, to the music that I play, or if I put a good song, I could see the vibe changing. Everybody's like, oh yeah, turning up. You feel me? That's what I like about being there, honestly.
That's dope. So we're almost done with the podcast. Is there anything that you want to promote, shout out, or give any insight to the people that you're gonna do this year?
Rich LaFleur, All She Wanna Do, coming to you soon. And Cali Plug EP coming to you soon. My boy Joey Melrose is dropping a single called You Again, mixed and mastered by me. It's coming soon. Be ready, be on the lookout, run up the views. Let's get it.
Thank you for watching the Lit Outlet Podcast with your boy Moses, aka Nomo23, my very special guest.
21.
That's right. Thank you for watching. Peace out.